Hi, students. How are you doing? Welcome to my channel. Hope you are great. Disclaimer. This video reflects my personal opinions and commentary. It is not intended to harass, harm, or defame any individual. Content is for discussions and educational purposes. So I am seeing video of a white boy who said that the problem of politics is the fact that black people do not know politics. I don't know how black people made it to this list, but it's okay. Hold on. Let me come for him. So I am going to ask, who is the head of this administration that is clueless? You know who he is. And who are the people under him? J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller, Pete Hegseth, Marco, all of them. They are people of lighter skin, white people and people of lighter. Did you see any black person there? Of course no. Now, how many percent of black people do we have in the United States of America? The population, how many? You know, right? And white people, how many? What is their population? And how many percentage can you, if you want to rate it, you know, right? Then we'll talk of Latinos, Asians, and all that. So black people did not even make, they are not even big enough to be the ones causing problem when it comes to politics. So you see, you are clueless. You don't know what you are saying. So to this black woman who is also a tap dancer, I see your problem is you are probably looking for money to buy groceries. Like everybody's hustling on this online because your comment section actually says it all, that you are a tap dancer. But how long do you want to tap dance? Let's get into this video.
Here's the question. The problem with politics today is
black people, the 13%.
What do you mean by the 13%?
The people that don't know anything. You know who they are.
Could you elaborate?
It's more from a mile away.
Yeah, for sure. The problem today with politics is for sure it's black people. Damn right. So 40 million people are the reason our politics don't work. You sure it's not the politicians? You sure it's not the fucking billionaires writing all those goddamn checks? Not the fucking gerrymandering? Not the fucking lobbyists that's blowing up the damn congressmen's assholes? Not all the turds that's been ruining this country for the past 100 years. But yeah, I can see how you come to the, conclusion that it's the 13% of the population, the black people, yup, the 13% of the black people that don't know nothing, yup. Like when he asked to elaborate, he's just like, oh man, you could smell them from a mile away. That dude is probably one of those like Miami red pill fucking douchebags. I am so glad I don't fucking live.
Okay, so over the last week, I've seen black creators and some white creators stitch or answer the question that juicy heifer put out there. And I said this before with the other white chick who was saying that black people created slavery, about how white supremacy can only be fed off of black fear, anger, and frustration. Okay. And in leftist spaces, if you're white and you call yourself a leftist, I automatically know that you believe in white supremacy, because you will scream class war over dealing with racism every day because you only care about poor white people rising to the top. You don't give a fuck about black people at all. But when it comes to white leftists, their white supremacy is also fed off of our frustration, anger, and fear. And because they thought they were going to punish black people by withholding their vote from Harris, they were fed off of our sorrow of her losing for a while. But that got old. Black women said, we're going to go home and mind our business. And that made white leftists very mad because they didn't have anything. So they were like, we're going to sit on our hands and wait for Trump to punish these niggers, hardy are, for not caring about Palestine and for putting themselves first, because who do these niggers think they are? They're not above these other brown people. You suffer over here. And we're going to give you Trump. And that man, he's going to put you back in the fields and make you pick cotton. That's your punishment for not bowing down to white leftists, is we're going to put you back in chains via Trump. And we'll keep our hands clean and say Trump did it to you. Well, Trump was too busy locking up brown people for the most part. They did get around to the Haitians, but they was just terrorizing brown people. And they laid off some black people, but a lot of black women, but it didn't cause black people to chorus. It didn't cause black people to protest. It didn't cause black people to do anything. We continually said we're mind our business. So now what leftists are starved because the whole going on and heckling Harris at her book tours is not doing anything. They are starved for power. White supremacy on the left is being starved. And what they're doing to feed that power, to feed that hunger, is by coming on here saying, provoking you to make response videos to them. You making angry videos to them, frustrated videos. You're feeding the leftist white supremacy by answering. Stop stitching her. Stop answering her question, because that juicy heifer is not interested in the answer. People have given them answers, and they've ignored it and continued on this narrative. You just don't like us, and that's weak, soft, and using AAV, bro, and all that other stuff. You're feeding the white supremacy and juicy. You're feeding that. Stop feeding it. The ancestors have been screaming to me at the altar is that black people need to stop casting their pearls before swine. And when you're answering Juicy's question, you are casting your wisdom and your pearls before swine. That's swine. Why are you answering swine? And also, that Juicy person is basically demanding you bend the knee to white supremacy on the left side. And they will have all of these books. And mind you, every theory book they have is really, it's some white person. It's always, they want black people to submit to white leadership on the left. It is mandatory. It is absolutely mandatory for them to be your white savior. And if you will not accept them as the white savior, they want you punished. And they're pissed that this administration technically isn't really truly going after black people and punishing them. They're too busy with the brown people, and we're middle of a trans genocide. And that doesn't help them because half of them are non-binary and trans. So they effectively fuck themselves, because if you notice, a lot of them have been taking non-binary out of their profiles. I've noticed and screenshotted. A lot of them are now loud and proud because they know that they've been on the chopping block. White leftists like Hassan and fucked up Blue Bangs and that fucked up Black Bangs thought that if we did not give them what they want and send Jill Stein to the White House, that Trump was going to put us niggas in the field. And they were going to be gleeful and laughing. They thought niggas was just going to be punished. And that didn't happen. And now they are going to cipher your energy. This is an energetic exchange. Do not give these people energetic exchanges. Do not answer them. Do not stitch them. Block them. Give them no oxygen. What you're giving over them is that feeds that white supremacy. You got to stop feeding white supremacy. When they say jump, why are y'all over here saying how high? Because answering their questions is basically saying how high. I'm not answering no white person's question. Who the fuck are you? You think me, a grown, almost 50-year-old woman, is going to answer a question and explain myself to some young, ignorant, racist, white, they, them, or woman or man? You think I'm going to do that? You think I am my royalty that I come from, that I am going to submit myself or bend the knee to answer their questions? Who the fuck are you? You are not on my level. You will never have what I have. You do not have the magic that it is to be black. And therefore, my black magic, my black girl magic will never submit to white supremacy. And please. I saw that and I moved along. I'm not answering a question. White people, you can't force me to do. That's the thing that white people love to do. They like to force you to do things, like question you. Juicy asking, why don't you want to work with leftists, is the same exact thing as a white woman asking you, do you live in this neighborhood? What apartment do you belong here? It's the same fucking thing. It's just a different side of the other coin. Black people, I am begging you, please stop answering these people questions. They're not asked in good faith. What they're demanding is your frustration and your anger and your energy. They want to be your masters and your saviors. Give them no oxygen anymore, people.
Are we okay?
And without blaming white people, why are black people in the hood so fucking dirty? I know. Y'all want to talk about the lack of finances and stuff that white people pour into the community. What did that got to do with the fact that y'all go outside and throw trash on the ground? And please don't come up here talking about the one hood that you know that's clean, because that doesn't speak for the many of hoods across America that's dirty as fuck. Why when hood black people move into nice neighborhoods, y'all fuck them up? Why do y'all kids destroy the parks at every complex that y'all go to? What is so hard about keeping your own community clean? Like me and my husband, we live in a nice neighborhood. We just had some new niggas move across the street. Okay, why is y'all throwing trash outside? Why is y'all outside blasting music? Why is y'all kids' shoes out here, but I don't see no kids? Why is it trash all over the place? This is not how this neighborhood was just a year ago. Why y'all couldn't kept that over there in the Johnson homes? Why y'all had to come over here? Why are black people in the hood so fucking nasty? Like y'all are, man, y'all, it don't just be how y'all treat the outside, it be the inside of y'all houses too. Like why are y'all dirty people? Why are you guys dirty people?
Now, I'm not gonna lie. At first I thought this was AI. And your comment section definitely didn't pass the vibe test. I mean, I guess for you, probably so, because they're either complimenting you on your looks, or it's people with less melanin eating this shit up. I refuse to let the voice of ignorance be louder than the voice of reason, so I take issue with you having a disingenuous engagement of a conversation by prefacing, other than blaming white people, what is the reason for the problems that black people do? Which is like a podcast, bro, engaging a conversation with, other than blaming men, what is the reason for single mothers? Because, see, there is a direct correlation between one and the other. You can't have the conversation without keeping the things that you're purposely trying to omit to fit a narrative. The reason why your conversation resonates so well with white people is because it reeks of white supremacy ideology. Like, other than slavery and black codes and Jim Crow and redlining, what would be the reason for black people suffering in the hood? You don't want to have that conversation. You know what else you don't want to have a conversation about? How cities allocate their funds for parks on the white side of town and not on the black side of town, even though they're both city parks. How some white schools have newer classrooms, newer buildings, great landscapes, and black schools have older furniture, older buildings, and the landscape isn't kept. Again, all from the same school district budget. It's almost as if you don't know how systemic racism works or social economic impacts. It's also as if you haven't traveled much to know that you can find slums, ghettos, hood areas of every ethnicity in every country in this planet. I don't know why your new neighbors who happen to be black are trashing their home. Maybe most of y'all are homeowners and those are renters and they don't care about the property. I'm guessing you may not have a lot of affluent friends, because if you did, you probably would have some type of experience of being in people's homes who are doctors or lawyers, and without their cleaning service, their houses would be pigsties. Now, I grew up going to a predominantly white school, and I also went to a predominantly white university, and there absolutely were children in our classes that were musty in first period. Perhaps shocking to you, they weren't the black children. And if you've been around a lot of children from the hood, you will find that oftentimes the little black children from the hood are very well kept, hair, groomed, and always dressed for the occasion. I'm sure this Easter Sunday you'll see that on full display. I would also say that's not the exception, that's more of the norm. Associating a person who throws trash on the ground to being black, associating someone being dirty, associating any family's inability to keep a clean home are not black characteristics. That's just shit trifling people do, and that can be found anywhere. It's almost as if you can't believe white people could be trashy. White people could have poor hygiene, because these characteristics could be found in any ethnicity, right? We both know that. But you are associating them to being black. Kind of in a way that Donald Trump associates rape and murder to Mexicans. Even though rapists and murderers come in all ethnicities, and if you look up the FBI statistics, It's not Mexican descent that's leading in those categories. Just like a lot of the characteristics of behavior that you're associating that you seem to be pissed off about could be found in people that do not share your melanin. But that probably doesn't bother you, right? See, you can't have this conversation without getting to root cause. You're worried about property, parks, houses being destroyed. We're worried about our community being destroyed by racist legislation. We don't have the same priorities. I'll take a page from your disingenuous motives. Other than self-loathing and clout chasing, what would be a reason of trying to downtrodden your own community?
This be the lack of accountability that I love to address. Because I said without blaming white people, and you did a number on me. You decided to flip the tables and then put words in my mouth. Because this conversation isn't about white hoods. It's about why black people treat our own communities the way we treat our own community. And instead of stopping and thinking logically about what I just said, you said, well, white hoods are clean, or I'm assuming that white hoods are clean. The white hoods was never in the conversation because white hoods don't affect our community. We affect our own community based off how we treat it. What do white hoods have to do? What white people do in their own hoods is their business. Again, this goes back to a lot of black people. They get their codes and how they live and how they choose to live from white people. Black people don't really know how to live if it wasn't for white people being an example, and it sucks that you guys let the lowest level of white people be your example. So if white hoods are nasty, then I guess that's the reason why black hoods are nasty. So you really just answered my question. Monkey see, monkey do. I want to do what the white folk do.
This is all I got from this video, and I am going to start with the person that said that the problem with politics are black people, and I am asking, how did black people become the problem? It looks like when people get bored, the only thing they do to us, to lighten their day is to call black people anywhere. Then I am going to ask, who is the head of this administration, and who are the people he works with? See, I just do not understand the problem with some certain kind of people, because I don't understand how a demograph of how many percent, you know what I am saying, will be the one that is the problem of American politics. You and I, as you are looking at me, you and I know how many percent of black people that are in United States of America, then how many percent of white people, then Latinos, and Hispanic, and Asians, and others. You know how many percent each? Man, it is really appalling that some people have refused to do their research, or have decided that they will just continuously be dumb. Because if you are not dumb, you will not come out on national television or on a street interview to tell people that it is because we do not know politics. My people do not know politics. That is what the problem of when the head of this administration is a white man, Stephen Miller, as Pete Heck said, all of them are all JD Vance. Did you see any black person there? Even let me start with that. That is how some people will just wake up and the only thing they want to do is black people. White leftists, if it is not black people, nothing more. That is also one of the reasons why somebody came out to say that black people, they were the ones that started. There is nothing that I have not heard so far. And it's crazy because some people will actually believe them. And for this black woman who is actually tap dancing, man, there are some things I just don't want to. There are some people that when I look at them, I'll be like, how did you go from being a black person to this? Now, let me tell you something, because some people always think being a ghetto is only to black people and all that. Have they actually showed you guys white ghettos? Because there are white ghettos. You guys really be messing up so bad. Is that how ignorant you are? Because it's only somebody that haven't traveled, that haven't seen anything, that would just sit at a place and talk nonsense. Because at this point in time, it is not making sense. Big time. Now, let me tell you something. Let me educate you a little bit when it comes to ghetto, because ghetto is everywhere, whether you call it black community or white community. The only thing is that you only decided to talk about black community and refuse to talk about white community. Go to white communities. You are going to see ghetto, because there are so many poor white people. So many of them. For every places or every country you go to in the world, they have ghetto. Even the Dubai that is like one of the most flashy country in the, let them show you the ghetto. They will never show you the ghetto. Why? Because that is not the face of what they want you to see. But if you have traveled, if you are a traveler, travel to Dubai, travel to almost every country, you definitely will see that they have ghetto. Now, let me use Nigeria as an example, because if I am using America, Dubai, other countries, it will be like maybe I am trying to, be to be partial. Let me come to where I come from. Some people will say it is because it's Africa. It is not because it's Africa. I am a traveler. I travel a lot, and I have seen places that when you go to, they will tell you, oh, and you will never imagine that this kind of place is it. Have you also seen China ghetto? You also need to see all those places. And when they tell you this is China, you'll be like, oh, every country have their own slum. Don't look at, but I don't know, man. Some of you all just wake up and the only thing you want to do is to be messy because you are a tap dancer. It shows in your comment section. I know them when I see them because they will never have even black or people of color in their comment. It is only a certain demographic that they talk. See, let me tell you something. You cannot be Candace Owen. You know how huge Candace Owen is. You can also not be her because white people are still, they see her like she is not a threat, but at some point they are seeing her like, even no matter how you tap dance, you can't even get to that level. So why not quit? You can quit today. You know, you look at. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to tell her that she looks as poor as I am because, man, what do you need? You need some groceries because some people, their problems are groceries and they will chill like, till like forever. Please, send some money for groceries. But ain't nobody giving her shit because she has started on a very horrible note. Tell those people you tap dance for because you look hungry like I am. Man, I am hungry. I am trying to lighten up the mood because these people, I just don't understand it. It's kind of crazy. There are slums. There are ghetto everywhere. When you come to Nigeria, you will see Victoria Island. You will see so many beautiful places on the mainland. Very beautiful. But let them take you to the real ghetto, like the real place that is, you'll be like, what is going on here? But there are beautiful places. Yes, there are beautiful places. Are there ghettos? Yes, there are ghettos. So if there are ghettos in United States of America, how more of other European countries too? Man, miss me at this nonsense. Some of you all need to do your research before you come out here to start calling black people. Bye for now.